This is a showcase of our very cool display tank. Oh, I absolutely love it. It's got so much color. It's our lowest maintenance design. The tank is a 4-foot tank with a 700 wide footprint, so nice and wide, which gives us that real depth of field. It also has a sump setup. Now, as with all our tanks, we only use porous foam to filter it. We're just using simple squares of foam. So essentially this whole tank is filtered just with one of our sump kits and a biofilter kit. So very, very effective. You can see the water clarity is great, as well as healthy fish, and that's really what it is. So smash the subscribe button, hit those notifications that you see when our new videos are coming. We're going to put a lot of effort into putting more instructional videos out there, helping people to achieve a successful aquarium. Alright, so this tank we're going to talk about the selection of fish. So when it comes to selecting a colony of fish that you want to live together, you want to make sure that they have habitat enrichment. You want to make sure that they feel safe. You want to feel that they showcase their best behavior. And when we look at that, I think there is way more nuance or gray area when it comes to the selection of fish. To say categorically that you cannot keep this group of fish with that group of fish, where in the actual lakes themselves they occur naturally overlapping. Resource guarding can be looked at this way. If I breed the same way as you, or I feed the same way as you, you are competition. If I have to set up a cave, and you set up a cave, we're going to be in direct competition. If you look the same as me, I'm probably going to be in direct competition with you. We call that conspecifically aggressive. So what we like to do is to mix fish from different parts of the lake and from different lakes that won't be as conspecifically aggressive or territorial with each other. Quite often you will find certain fish you can add to a tank and they almost seem invisible to other fish, and that's because they don't actually have a direct resource guarding agenda with each other. We like to mix fish that will fill the tank up with more fish, creating that full effect, so you're happy as the end user customer. Let's be realistic, when it comes to stock in a tank, we're all a little bit greedy. You need to try and work in a world where that's possible. So when it comes to selecting Mabuna, to say Mabuna can't be kept with haps, I think is a bit of a fault. There are certain Mabuna that shouldn't be kept with haps, especially those larger, more aggressive types that need way bigger spacing. But you could definitely get away with having a colony of female fish that will add a lot of color but not add a whole lot more of aggression. So in this tank, or in our previous tanks, we've set up small groups such as the snow white females. We set up small groups of electric yellows or electric whites, small groups of red zebras. So that means we're adding 8 to 10 to 12 fish in the tank that are all going to add lots of color, be really vibrant, but not add that much more aggression. Then we might add 1 or 2 males that are really showy. One of the ones that we like adding at the moment is a pair of white top hara afras, which are these beautiful light blue fish with beautiful long finnage. And what kind of tends to happen is you have a male on either end of the tank always showing off with each other. A good example of that is the chrysanatus, which is the dark navy blue fish with a white top that you can see in the video. Those 2 males are constantly showcasing to each other, displaying to each other, but they're not harassing the compressiceps that you can see below them because they are not resource guarding as much. Now, cool thing about those fish is that they live at the top of the tank, so one of the only species of fish that is a top water fish. So to summarize all this, there is no hard and fast rule of not adding fish or not being able to keep fish. I think you need to be very selective and very smart. You can't say, okay, I'm just going to go and buy any Mabuna from a local pet store, put them in my tank and they're going to work. I think that's where you come in unstuck. I think the ratios of males to females is really important. And we like to include 1 or 2 predatory fish in all tanks, so that if you do have that hybridization breeding, which is a possibility, then at least the youngsters that are self-rearing in the tank might be kept down to a very minimum, and you're ensuring that your predatory fish are having a certain level of habitat enrichment. I mean, this tank is just an absolute class. It's got the chrysanatus from Lake Malawi. They have these beautiful top water swimming fish. I mean, look at the showcase of color of that boy. Then you've got the frontoses, which add a real change of body shape. You've got Malariae julidachromis. you've got the compressiceps, you've got the lawanda peacocks, you've got the chalumbas. These are all small facets of color, and we're able to have those fish, and yet they still thrive, and they showcase really good coloring. Their behavior is good, they're not constantly being harassed. When it comes to the selection of fish, there really is a technique to it, and we're happy to discuss that with any customer. If you're setting up a tank, we could give you the advice on how to set it up that it's going to be the most successful you can be with as much color as you can have. Well, hopefully that all made sense, and if you have any queries, just hit us up, info@fishtowater.co.nz. Thanks for watching. Creating natural looking aquariums that are easy to maintain.